Hey guys, Training Dummy here. In today's video, I'm leveling my rogue to try out the new Heartseeker spell that was added this season. I'm gonna walk you through my process in a chronological order, what I try to focus on step by step to get the build rolling. I will also test two Heartseeker builds in the end, so I want to see how the Frost and the Fire one compare to each other. As always, leave the comments down below for feedback on the video if this type of explanation was helpful or not. Let's dig in, shall we? When it comes to leveling, I always say the same thing. It doesn't matter how you do it. Either speedrun or go sightseeing for side quests. As long as you get the passive skill points and idle slots unlocked, do it whatever way you want to. Since it's my alt, I will take the advantage of getting some good low-level uniques and rewearable items to make the campaign faster, as I personally don't enjoy sightseeing during my campaign runs. I don't put much thought into my leveling because the faster I start doing it, the faster I'll be done with it. No need to overthink it since it doesn't even take 2 hours for my alt. So I use Terek's leveling build from max roll for faster leveling experience. Smacked on these items and just started zooming around. One thing to note, if you want to use the same leveling build, is that you should have a dagger specifically, so your Umbral blades can inflict shadow daggers on hit. But the rest of the build is pretty straightforward. The great thing about having an alt is that leveling is much easier. Not only because of the items and resources, but also because you can do nice level skips. Once you get to this point and you get to choose your mastery, step into the monolith section to get free experience points, and teleport all the way up to get even more XP. My favorite skip is in chapter 5, when you get to this tablet quest and unlock the Temporal Chains dungeon. By completing it, you get to skip all the way up to the last chapter 9 of the campaign. Once I have all my points and idle slots, I decide to go for the final boss of the campaign to get my attributes +1. Since I am already overpowered, I might as well do it right now and get it over with. Also, the attributes are really good for me because I plan to use the red rings, so it's gonna work out really well for this build. We popped the Snake Lady and the campaign is done. Off to monoliths. The great thing here is, I literally only need to do one of the top monoliths to unlock empowered ones, since it's my alt. So I go up there, and even though I am under leveled, it's not that bad with the item advantage I have. I pull out the good old Glyph of Envy, stack up my stability, and just run through the objectives for the Age of Winter timeline. I chose to target this timeline because the bow that gets my build going drops from the boss in here. So I will be farming the empowered version of this also. And not only the bow, but I also have to think about my blessings now. Done with the objectives, taking care of the boss and the Harbinger. Sadly the bow did not drop, but we're gonna run this multiple times, so it's fine. Now empowered monoliths are unlocked, and also the blessing respec is open, if I need it. Fizzres is really good early to help us cap out resistances and get some bulkiness going. Speaking of resistances, I will try to get some blessings sorted now, and there is no better one than plus to all resistances in Reign of Dragons timeline. I can feel my damage is lacking a little bit, but I'm only level 54, so it's gonna be fine in a couple of levels. Killed the boss along with the Harbinger. Sadly didn't get the blessing that I wanted, but no worries, we can just go to the blessing respec and get the low rolled version, which is going to be good enough for now. Next in line, Spirits of Fire. Trying to get armor blessing, which didn't work out, but we do the same thing, go to the blessing respec, take the low rolled version, and it will be good for now. I'm good with my blessings for now. These will help with my tankiness early on. So off to Reign of Winter and start leveling now. Levels are very important here since the health per level gains were increased this season, but also I need my passive points. Once I start getting my items and get to a decent level, I will respec my Heartseeker build. As long as this build is going to keep working, there's no real reason to force and respec now. While I'm at it, I will pick up a ton of unique red ring prophecies for the red ring drops. I finally see a cemetery. This is where the fun starts. So we're going to set up a nice fast experience farm with the help of Lostwood Folly and the False Temple strategy. At this point, I think everyone knows what this is. You simply put a Lostwood Folly, Woven Echo, and build False Temples around it. So the Lostwood Folly spreads embers to the False Temples, and False Temples are really easy echoes to complete, especially when you are underpowered and under-leveled like my character is at this moment. This is a very easy way to push corruption while not being so strong. And you just zoom through the maps with the help of all the shrine buffs. I found a couple of red rings thanks to prophecies and imprints from the woven tree, filling up that XP and stability bar really fast. Now got to level 80, I already killed the boss a few times and got a few bows, so I'm ready to respec to Heartseeker. I looked at a few build guides out there and this one caught my eye. It was Trickster's Heartseeker guide. I'm gonna link it in the comments. It was really well written and explains all the aspects very well. Time to use my Void Knight to speed up the process and slam my items to save some time here. For the purpose of this video, I will not use harder items to get and Aberroth items just to keep the progression showcase more realistic. So the items that I got here on my Void Knight are very common and easy to get. The bow, of course, I already showed you. The quiver, the relic, the amulet, and the boots, and the helmet are all super common and easy to get items. I'm gonna use 1 LP bow just because that's all you really need. The crit chance is super important here, as combined with the helmet, those two items together will get you close to your crit cap. In case you don't know, I will show you how to get this helmet. It's very easy to farm. You simply need to go to Lightless Arbor dungeon. This boss can be a bit tricky if it's your first time doing it, because it might be a bit confusing. You're actually not hitting the boss. Your objective is to break the root walls on both sides and use the dungeon mechanic to fill up the bar to full. Then the boss breaks down and you enter him to destroy his heart. And that's about it. As you can see, the helmet already dropped and this was the easiest difficulty of the dungeon. Do a few runs to get your 3 LP or 2 LP helmet and it's done. I'm pretty strong. Now it's time to bring my corruption up with the help of this woven echo. I can bring my corruption all the way up to the highest one that's on my main character, which is just over 1000. Just need to beat up a few shades here and it's done. Of course, I'm nowhere near strong enough to farm in this corruption, but we can easily drop the number down by going in here. I'm gonna drop it all the way down to 300, which is a realistic range. But also it's the corruption I would need to unlock normal Aberroth, if this was my first character. There's one more thing left to do on my Void Knight, and just to speed up the process, is to get Brewmaster's Buckle for some more tankiness. I could do it on my Rogue, it would just take much longer. So to save time, let's go and smack a few Brewmasters. This item, again, is super common. The boss drops like 3 of them every time you kill him. Smack HP on it and we're good to go. All that's really left to do is to get some more levels. So we go back to the False Temple strategy, but this time we're at 300 corruption. Took me less than an hour to get to level 90 this way. Now this build is really online. The map clear feels very fast and great. The single target damage is not as strong, but it's to be expected. I think the biggest pain for Heartseeker at the moment is that it uses weird uniques and stat lines. With more items introduced later in the game, I think Heartseeker will greatly benefit from it because the skill itself is really fun. Speaking of single target, I'm gonna respec my Puncture for Dark Quiver. This will boost my single target damage output because the Puncture only can proc off dead enemies, but I'm gonna go into Aberroth now, so I won't be needing it. It's been a while since I actually done normal version of this boss. I really forgot how easy it was. Of course I had no problems at all. I could have gone here sooner, but this build is for sure designed for mapping, since it's where it shines with the full screen explosions and the great use of shift. But the single target damage is not the greatest, but it's fine I guess with the Dark Quiver. I know that this build can kill Uber Aberroth, but there's no way I'm investing into farming all that gear for it. Instead I will test out the fire version for this build, which is a bit more awkward playstyle since it's sort of a melee marksman build. Because of the Dragon Song, you breathe this fire breath that is close range, so to maximize your damage you need to be in melee, which is pretty dangerous for a marksman. The damage seems to be fine, but I find this version to be clunky. You have to position yourself constantly towards the boss, making it harder sometimes if you want to keep up with your damage. But the Aberroth kill, of course, was no problem. Overall, I enjoyed the ice version of Heartseeker better, especially in maps. It felt really fast. You can just constantly shift around and clear echoes at super fast pace. I'm gonna leave the Rogue here for now. I can later revisit with more builds, but I'm gonna start leveling my next class since I want to try all of them, so I can have more information prepared for the next season for you guys. Thank you for watching. Training Dummy out.